good day, my dear grade 7 students. So how are you today? I'm hoping that all of you are doing fine and safe at home. So for now, we're going to discuss about the different terminologies about statistics. So but of course, class, when you hear the word statistics, so what comes into your mind, okay? So just think a minute or just a second on what comes into your mind when you hear the word statistics. When you say statistics, so it is very important in our life. But of course, when you say statistics, it's come from the Latin word statisticus, which means the study of people, supplies, and the like in a state. It is a branch of mathematics that deals with collecting, organizing, and describing numerical information or data. Common terms in studying about this. So there are, the first one is the population. So when we say population class, this refers to the entire collection of observations such as people or objects being considered. So it may be finite or infinite. So in an infinite population, we know the exact number of collection, like the number of students in a school, town, city, or country. An infinite population is so large that it cannot be counted, such as the set of real numbers. So aside from the population, we also have the individual. When we say individual, it is an observation such as a person or object included in the study. When we say sample, so the third definition or common term is the sample. Sample is a small portion or part of a population. It also refers to a subset, subgroup, or representative of a population. Then we also have the parameter. When we say parameter, it is any numerical or nominal characteristic of a population. Then data, it is a collection of facts or as a set of information or observations under study, such as numbers, words, measurements, or attributes to describe things. So data can be qualitative or quantitative. So remember that when we say qualitative data, this is a set of data that gives descriptive, remember, take note, descriptive information. It describes something and possesses a categorical measurement expressed not in terms of numbers, but rather by means of a natural language description such as, for example, the sex, marital status, age, height, allowance, size of the family, then other the show, yan. So those are some of the examples of qualitative data. And then when we say quantitative data from the word itself, quantity, this is a set of data that gives numerical information, values, or numerical measurement for which operations such as addition or averaging make sense. So some examples are age, the height, the weekly allowance, the distance, and the size of a family. Okay? Then of course, quantitative data, it is said to be continuous or discrete data. When we say discrete data, it is one that can assume certain value or finite number. Take note, finite number of values. The values are obtained through the process of counting. So discrete data, process of counting. For example, so we have the number of participants in a seminar. Ayan. And then, of course, for example, we have the marbles or the number of marbles. Okay. When we say continuous data, so it is one that can assume several values. Assume several values within a specified interval or range. The process is obtained through measurement. So when we say discrete data, so the process is through counting, while the continuous data is through measurement. Okay? So the last one is the variable. When we say variable, it is the characteristic of the individual to be measured or observed. If a class consists of males and females, then sex is a variable in the class. Weight is also a variable because different people have different weights. And then of course, variables can be classified as dependent and independent variable. When we say dependent variable, so this is a variable affected or influenced by another variable. And independent variable, it is one that affects or influences the dependent variable. So if it affects, so that is independent, and if it is affected, that is dependent variable. So now class, let us have now the four types of data measurement. The first one is the nominal data. When we say nominal data, this refers to qualities with no rank or ordering and no numerical or quantitative value, such as names, labels, and categories. For example, we have the sex, nationality, occupation, marital status, and student number in the class list. So that is considered as nominal data. Then the second one is the ordinal data, which is arranged in some order, but differences between the data values are meaningless. Some examples are ranking, letter grades, standard, and poor classification of corporations. Then the third one is the interval data. The data values can be ranked and the differences between data values are meaningful. However, there is no intrinsic zero or starting point and the range of data values are meaningless. So for example, we have the Celsius and Fahrenheit temperature readings, the heights and weights. So we cannot say the following as a student with no weight, a student with no height, or a day with no temperature. So that is interval data. And then the ratio data is the fourth one, which is similar to interval data, except there is true zero or starting point, and the ratios of data values have meaning. Some examples are the time, the length, the mass, and the distance. So of course class, when we say data, so can be collected by direct observation, survey, files, or records. So remember that you can collect data using the following. Okay class, so those are some of the common terms used in statistics. So I hope that you had new learning about that, and if you do have question about the different terminologies, so do not hesitate to ask your teacher. So again, so always keep safe, have a nice day, and God bless.